All right, so this morning's episode, actually it's afternoon because it's 1 o'clock in my city, is about a mixed mass, a monster mash, if you would. Firstly, Jim Jeffries, if you're ever back in Edmonton, I will invite you to doing Reiki for the time you're here, because Jim Jeffries, one of my heroes, he just made fun of Reiki on his show about recycling because he brings up a lot of great points and then he threw in how Reiki doesn't work, but I can literally, you get to Edmonton again, let me know. I'll give you Reiki and I'll show you how it actually is supposed to work. Um, and not give you gonorrhea, hippie slobberness. Okay, so let's talk about what Jim Jeffries was also talking about, which is how recycling in the US does not actually matter. Most of China is now saying, fuck you, United States, keep your own garbage. According to Jim Jeffries, also, the recycling plants are owned by the landfill companies. So you have basically people who, you know, as he said, they're playing both sides. Another problem with recycling is the lack of effort people put into it. There's a lot of rules to recycling, and Jim Jeffries goes over some of them. For the US and Canada, it's slightly better, but I'm just going to show you something. So this is BioVert. This is an all-purpose cleaner. I fucking love this shit. It's amazing. But when I went to, after yesterday's video, and I went online and I read about what this plastic contains, well, they want to say that they're being, helpful to the environment, that they're trying to use, a certain percentage of recycled plastics in their plastics, blah, blah, blah. But then they cop out and they say, hey, technically, like, plastic's really hard to recycle. So if we use a lesser version, it might corrupt under pressure. So, oops, we don't really actually use a lesser version of plastic. We use brand new plastic. So that's BioVert. The same holds true with this company. This is neem toothpaste made by Theraneem, which is actually this is a subsidiary company. I can't remember what the actual company is, but whatever, I'll put it in the comments. Anyways, it's a great tube, it's very helpful, but guess what? Again, can't really recycle this because in order for this to recycle, we need to wash it out, which means we need other products to wash this with, like brushes to go in these tiny little holes right here. See this hole? Yeah. So if you notice, you can see, whoops, there you go. Because the sunlight is pretty strong today, you can see in the tube, it is pretty clean inside, but it's not fully clean. So you keep it on here, neem comes out. I highly recommend neem. This is also from them. How much of this do you think can be recycled? Again, no. It does say it is recyclable. No, actually it does not. It says it is hit its limit of recyclability. So then we have one of my favorites, Furlow Botanicals. This is a great neem toothpaste. I really, really, really enjoyed it. But again, it's not recyclable. I mean, this is cheap fucking plastic. This is so cheap for them to buy and use. Why would you want to use a recycled version of this that's going to cost you sort of more money? So now let's move into food products, right? Oops, there we go. Haagen-Dazs, my favorite, fucking awesome. But wax, right? Non-recyclable, pure garbage, pure waste, pure dumpster. We're on 4 minutes. This is taking a while. I have little spray bottles for my cats, right? I actually want to go buy one of these that we'll get for bleach. But again, it's pure plastic. It's not recyclable, right? Again, sports bottles, Tupperware, all this shit. Now, part 2 of the video. Can you see? Whoops. Can you see? This is Elf. I fucking love this company. This is a cheap, but good makeup line. So I have come out as gender fluid on, what is it called? Well, social media, basically. And so I have, for the last year, been hiding my gender fluidity. Like, technically, I'm not going to lie, I would like to live as a woman during the day kind of thing. Like, I'd rather be like I'd rather present myself as a woman versus as a man. I'm not to the point where I want to chop things off and switch them around. I'm just at the point where I would prefer to, uh, be more of a woman than a man, in a full-time environment. So this is the palette, right? There's the eyeshadow. It's very nice, very simple. Now, one of the things is I was like, well, it's not as much as I thought there would be, but that's okay because when you use these things, they last for a long time because you don't go through eyeshadow in these colors extraordinarily long or quickly. Sorry. What I do like though is we have in their contour, we have all of the color correctors, right? So you've got your orange, and you got your blush, and you got more. So you've got color correctors, you've got bronzers, you've got contours. You've got it all. And I really, really, really liked Elf, and this was on sale, so I said, fuck it, why not? And when you look at Elf, look at that beautiness right there. See that? That's a big fucking mirror. It's awesome. So, the one thing that we have a problem with, which I was talking about yesterday, and I just said with Hug-Nuts, you see this wax? This wax means that this box cannot be recycled. There is no way for this box to be recycled. And so we have that as a problem. It's a great box. It's not very thick. It's pretty light. It's pretty flimsy. But again, because of this external wax, this is not recyclable. So we have these problems. Now, the other thing is you can have, say, peanut butter jars. Well, you have to scrub the peanut butter jars for them to be recyclable. One thing I did learn today with Jim Jeffries is, you're not actually allowed to recycle detergent lids, which is I thought was really kind of odd. Another thing is, as much as I love Elf, again with this plastic, right? Like this, I'm gonna own this for, I don't know, a couple years, maybe 3 years, 4 years, whatever it takes. Maybe I'll just burn through it in a couple months. But anyways, this plastic is that's not corn-based plastic. It's not, this is literal PVC, like petroleum-based plastic. So it's it's nice, it's simple, it's, cheap, and it allows for the product to remain cheap, but it is not environmentally friendly. And they are producing, and I'm not blaming Elf, but I'm just saying as a reminder, how many millions of these are being produced, right? Then inside of this is you have your two palettes, right? So you have your contour, you have your eyeshadow, and you have your mirror. Now, because the eyeshadow and the contour palettes are removable, it's great. You can use this for, business cards, you can put brushes in it after, et cetera, et cetera. So the external does get reused, and if you have the imagination for it. So that is an awesome part of, this particular, Christmas set. I do love Elf. I've just been turned on to it literally like 3-4 days ago. But I am really impressed with their packaging. They include brushes. They include, I like the cream contour. That was really cool. But anyways, yeah, so there's that. And that's the thing, is we're talking about sustainability. Now, part of this is sustainable because, again, once you use your contour and your eyeshadows, you have a box for other things to be used. So there is a bit of sustainability in this, but once you get through some of the eyeshadows and stuff like that, and you're a queen and you're like, ugh, it's old, oh my God, forget it. This isn't really, the plastic's not sustainability. It's not long term because there's no refill. Like a lot of companies you will notice are going to refillable what they call loose pigments. I don't know to the extent of how much loose pigment you get with some companies. One company I was looking at the other day, it was like $20 for loose pigment. And I'm like, why would I fucking want to spend $20 on loose pigment? Now, here's the thing, is I'm just saying this out loud. I buy this for, say, I bought all this for $20. So you want me to spend one loose pigment for $20. Now, I am not doing my due diligence. I did not look at how many grams are for sale. But I noticed that the loose pigment was available, which is cool. Because really what you want to look at is, okay, if I spend $20 on loose pigment and I spend $100 with this one company, I don't know which company it was, but I spent $100 with that company for loose pigment, then what we have is, sustainability, because now I have $100 worth of loose pigment, so I have 5 different shades. Um, and of those 5 different shades, I don't know how long that's going to last. So loose pigment could actually effectually be a sustainable, eco-friendly way to, but the question is going to be, when you have your container at home, how are they transferring it to you? How are they moving the product around? One of the things with BioVert is that here's BioVert, right? One of the things on there with their website that I wasn't aware of with Planet Organic is they sell, you buy the bottle, right? You buy your bottle of, I think it's shampoo, and then they sell plastic bags or shampoo refills of the shampoo in a plastic bag. Now, literally, that is being a lot more economical and it's being a lot more helpful. But if you have a truck full of plastic bags versus a truck full of plastic bottles, it really it's six of one, half dozen of another. So this is a whole other bit of centrifuge, or I don't know. But you have to look at the manipulation. Like, yes, it's better to not keep making these bottles, absolutely. But is the plastic biodegradable? Is the plastic, going to be something that we can, finally get and dispose of? Probably not. So you're telling me that you're just trying to make me feel better that I'm using a little bit of plastic instead of a lot of plastic, and that kind of deflects from the fact that there is still not a sustainable way to move product A to product B. One of my original designs was, if you look at how they transport nuts now, or candies or stuff like that, like you go to a candy store, right, and they're all in these bins, we should literally be moving our grocery stores into the same frame. Because again, Nestle's, Cheerios, um, like if glass bottles are probably a little bit more sustainable. I have to do the research on it. But anyways, point of story is, there you have all these wax cardboard boxes, right? Cereal boxes are exactly like this box. They're made from, it's got that wax finish so that it just holds together, it doesn't tear, it doesn't rip, blah blah blah. Again, does not biodegrade, so it goes straight into the garbage and is not biodegradable. Now, I got off the internet yesterday with this, and I thought about Planet Organic as a whole food, as a chain. And even Planet Organic is, there's plastic, there's boxes, like um, this toothpaste comes in a box that is, again, wax topped. So again, I'm paying $15 for this, okay?